The Pokemon franchise was completely transformed by a number of groundbreaking features launched in Generation 5, which included Pokemon Black and White, and their follow-ups, Black 2 and White 2. The engaging storytelling and the immersive narrative that took place throughout the games were one of the standout features. Nearly every character with a complicated past had multiple aspects of personality. Welcome back, my name is Rusky, and for this video, we will talk about the brilliance of Pokemon Gen 5 and delving deep into the character Bianca. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a like or dislike. Let's get right into it. During the first few minutes of choosing your starter and defeating your two freshly encountered rivals, Sharon and Bianca, you'll discover that Bianca's father is a harsh dad who dislikes the thought of his daughter leaving the house to become a Pokemon trainer as soon as you step inside their home. Since I always think it's absurd that our mothers allow their teen children to venture out into the world without any assurance, the realistic nature of Bianca's dad makes the game stand out from the others. Throughout Pokemon Black and White, you'll see many more scenes illustrating Bianca's outlook on life and what is she meant to do with it throughout the course of the game. Shortly after defeating the second gym leader, Leonora, Bianca unfortunately will have her Muna taken away from her by the infamous Team Plasma. Putting it into perspective over what happened to her, imagine if someone took away your dog or your cat, from which to me is absolutely a terrifying thing. The Team Plasma does this to everybody, or tries to do it to everybody. Team Plasma does eventually give back Bianca's Pokemon, but the fact it got stolen from her in the first place also mentally affected her. She can't even help and defend her own Pokemon from being stolen, another reason for her to feel like she's not an accomplished trainer. Up until Gym 4, she had only encountered her father as a challenge, one that many people face on a daily basis. Even though I don't like how Bianca's father abandons his own belief after speaking with Elsa so quickly, the game was created by some of the individuals who came up with the seriousness of Scarlet and Violet, close to zero seriousness. I don't hate the games, but you have to realize that they're somewhat embarrassing, especially when compared to Generation 5, speaking in story-wise. Besides that, Bianca continues to wonder a lot and eventually gives up on being a Pokemon trainer in favor of being a Pokemon researcher / professor. I personally appreciate this portion of her story since even when I was a child, Bianca never felt like a struggle when you battled her. Instead, it seemed like Game Freak was intentionally designing her AI to be simple. This is apparent in many ways, including the fact that her Pokemon team has always been underleveled in comparison to all trainers before and after her, and the fact that she never used any held items, in contrast to Sharon, her counterpart rival, who has done so ever since the second rival encounter. She will always feel lackluster to combat from the beginning of the game, because she will always choose the starter Pokemon that you're good against, indicating who will be more of a threat between her and Sharon. When you consider how much she gave up to become a trainer, it makes you feel horrible every time you defeat her in a Pokemon battle. With that feeling, you always felt superior to her, or at least I have, and you can't help but wonder if she's qualified to train Pokemon at all. Also a quick fact, every time you defeat Bianca in a trainer battle, she always leaves in the direction that you just came from, while Sharon will always head in the direction of the next player's objective. I like to delve deeper into this because thinking about this psychologically, it's like Bianca needs to head back to look for her mistakes and be better, while Sharon moves on and keeps pushing forward. It's not a detail that Game Freak did on accident. They purposely made her track back, which is another addition to how complex the writing this game has. Bianca slowly changes her perspectives on life around the time you acquire the Black or White Stone for the legendary Pokemon Zekrom and Reshiram. Bianca's at the stage of exploring what she wants to do in her life, as she says how she's thinking about modeling because of Elsa, or how cool it is to research like Professor Jupiter. This dialogue from her shows some maturity and a realization that maybe her once dream of being a Pokemon trainer isn't something she truly wants to do, and that maybe it's something else that makes her happy. If she was truly happy at Pokemon battling, she wouldn't care about her losses, and would still love and strive for more like Sharon, who never loses interest of taking on the champion, even when losing to you every time. That's his passion, and it's clear that he loves being a Pokemon trainer, but you can see a clear difference between that passion and Bianca's. Therefore, when she quits being a Pokemon trainer, it's almost a sign of relief, rather than having Game Freak use the boring plotline of her getting extraordinarily powerful due to some random event. She instead stops being a trainer with dignity, and it's a beautiful lesson that proves that no matter how hard you try, if something was not meant to be, it simply will not be. But it doesn't mean it wasn't worthwhile. Otherwise, Bianca wouldn't have considered the notation of becoming a Pokemon professor. I like to think that Game Freak was trying to say, don't give up on your ambitions because even if they don't achieve everything you initially set out to, you will at least make some progress towards what you ultimately desire later on. Pokemon Black and White has many beautifully written story and character developments, and I honestly wished whatever or whoever worked on this game would come back and give us another serious masterpiece of a story. As much as Gen 5 got its hate amongst the community, I believe it's the best written Pokemon game to this date, and I don't believe we will ever get another one like it. With that being said, it's time to wrap this video up. Thank you guys for watching this breakdown video. If you guys enjoyed watching it, let me know, as I had a really good time working on it. And as always, peace.